Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My mic's like about to fall off.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, Gilderoy, calm down.
When you first entered this stream, did you think you'd be listening to one of the greatest chapters in Harry Potter history?
I don't know if I'd call it the greatest. It's
No,
pretty good.
it's pretty good. It's definitely not my favorite of the bunch. The Labyrinth. Sorry, Doda.
Around, make it a little bit easier.
I'm sorry that I am fresh out of the shower and not looking. Apologize.
Wizard, Timothy, Ben, what's going on, guys?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, Saturday should be fun. It's where we're going to have our in-depth Voldemort discussion. We've been reading all of his chapters these past few weeks.
Can't stream Saturday.
Oh, yeah. So what day are we going to have to do it? Sunday? Because you just found out that, yeah.
I have to work on Saturday, so we actually can't do it on Saturday.
Well, we can just do it later. I mean, I never have a problem with Noel doing the streams with us. It's always a good time.
We could
We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. But yeah, I have to work on Saturday, so we are going to figure out when we have to do it. Worst case scenario, we do it next Thursday. Worst case scenario.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
Your sound keeps coming and going. Which one? Me? Maybe?
I hate sound. Just saying.
I just talk into it. I feel like gonna flag it.
I just always feel like there's some kind of
Is that better?
always some sort of sound issue. Yeah, it's yours.
It's me. That's because I keep moving. I move a lot when I talk. I'm sorry. Is it better now? Hi, Melanie. Hi, Katie. Um, oh, by all means, read the paper, analyze the paper.
Don't let them get away with anything. They need to learn, Melanie. I'm just kidding.
Yes, let us know what you think. Comments are always a treasure.
I mean, I don't know if it goes into your grading style, but remember, Saturday is April Fool's. You could have some fun with that. Since there's no Saturday school, Friday. Gotta get it in.
This is true.
Know what means. April Fools?
I have a moose cup today. That's what I got. My moose cup.
I just thought you got stuck at work on April Fools. That might be a good thing or a bad thing. You'll be away from me, but gotta go with your coworkers.
I'm fine as long as the animals don't do anything.
Tell me you have a good April Fool's prank set up.
I was not planning to be there.
Oh,
So
you disappoint me.
I was not planning to be there. So why would I have planned anything?
Better safe than sorry.
Well, I guess you better help me think of something.
I guess so.
And
We'll figure it out.
it can't be anything like the tigers have escaped. April Fools.
Why not? That's great.
Get in trouble. That's
Mm,
something I could probably get in trouble for.
yeah, probably.
Just saying. It's good, but
Up or down, Jackson? Who's Elaine?
I guess I'll have to think of something. No one wants to
Oh,
hear
okay,
that.
Melanie. But still, April Fools. Think about it.
I never really cared about April Fools all that much. Participated, cared, but
Where there's animals, there's animal dung. Make your own dung bombs.
good.
Hey guys, I baked this chocolate cake for you. Enjoy.
I mean,
Hey, you look hungry. Want a brownie?
I have a lot of varieties of poops to choose from.
That's what I mean. You can open your own bake shop for a day. Chocolate chips, brownies.
The Oryxes would be like chocolate chips.
Didn't need to know specifics, but okay, yep. Can't let the twins down, that's right.
Zebras could be like little mini muffins. What?
Okay, so the chapter.
Camels could be
Before
Rolos.
we get into too much potty humor here.
Camel Rolos. Mini Reese's.
No. So,
So,
secret riddle.
the secret riddle. Yes.
Who is the secret riddle? Who knows? I don't know.
What
Couldn't
is the
possibly
secret
be
riddle?
old little Tom. Little
Little
Tom at
Tom,
the orphanage.
our good friend Tom.
Tiny Tom. Wonder if he went.
Tomas.
Wonder if he's related to Tiny Tim.
I mean, it's possible, I suppose.
I do have a few things I want to say about this chapter, but I'll wait till we're into it.
And
And
get to
more
that point.
evaluation. Yeah. Dumbledore
Yeah,
and his fancy. That's right.
that's right.
Dumbledore looking good.
So yeah, we figured we'd read this chapter since we read the Voldemort's request chapter last time, and then I figured we'd read this one. And then after that, I thought we would do our Lord Voldemort character discussion. And the reason why we're not doing House of Gaunt first is because I'm not done doing all of my research for that chapter. Because I figured that could be something separate. But we could do this one, and then we could do our Voldemort discussion.
The House of Gaunt. I feel like I'm just gonna be sitting here, just Ah, I see. Yes, yes. Interesting.
Hiya! Very good.
I'm gonna be like, they're weird. It's
That's
about all
my
I have
input.
to contribute. Like, yeah, be over here with metaphors, analogies, and mythology representations, and
Probably
I don't know.
not so much mythology representation, maybe a little bit of mythology representation, but probably a lot of To Kill a Mockingbird and um, sociological things,
Kill a
psychological.
mockingbird. Is this what happened to Scout after?
No,
Okay.
the finches don't really have anything to do with it. It's more about the Yules than the finches, as far as it relating to Kill a Mockingbird. Not Scout and Gem and Atticus. Nope.
Say, don't you tell me they did something to Scout.
No. Scout is fine. Scout is also fine in the sequel that I did read.
Atticus just really let himself go after that case. After losing that case.
Eh,
Spoilers. Sorry.
I don't know if that's spoilers.
I mean, the book is almost 100 years old now, so if it's still spoilers,
What, To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around for a hot minute. All right, are we ready? Is everyone here? Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Do it. Just do it. Maybe. Chapter 13. The Secret Riddle. Katie was removed to St. Mungo's Hospital for magical maladies and injuries the following day, by which time the news that she had been cursed had spread all over the school, though the details were confused, and nobody other than Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Leanne seemed to know that Katie herself had not been the intended target. "Oh, and Malfoy knows, of course," said Harry to Ron and Hermione, who continued their policy of feigning deafness whenever Harry mentioned his "Malfoy is a Death Eater" theory. Harry had wondered whether Dumbledore would return from wherever he had been in time for Monday night's lesson, but having had no word to the contrary, he presented himself outside Dumbledore's office at 8 o'clock, knocked, and was told to enter. There sat Dumbledore, looking unusually tired. His hand was as black and burned as ever, but he smiled when he gestured to Harry to sit down. The pensieve was sitting on the desk again, casting silvery specks of light over the ceiling. "You have had a busy time while I have been away," Dumbledore said. "I believe you witnessed Katie's accident." "Yes, sir. How is she?" "Still very unwell, although she was relatively lucky. She appears to have brushed the necklace with the smallest possible amount of skin. There was a tiny hole in her glove. Had she put it on, had she even held it in her ungloved hand, she would have died, perhaps instantly. Luckily, Professor Snape was able to do enough to prevent a rapid spread of the curse." "Why him?" asked Harry quickly. "Why not Madame Pomfrey?" "Impertinent," said a small voice from one of the portraits on the wall, and Phineas Nigellus Black, Sirius's great-great-grandfather, raised his head from his arms where he had appeared to be sleeping. "I would not have permitted a student to question the way Hogwarts operated in my day." "Thank you, Phineas," said Dumbledore quellingly. "Professor Snape knows much more about the dark arts than Madame Pomfrey, Harry. Anyway, the St. Mungo staff are sending me hourly reports, and I am hopeful that Katie will make a full recovery in time." "Where were you this weekend, sir?" Harry asked, disregarding a strong feeling that he might be pushing his luck, a feeling apparently shared by Phineas Nigellus, who hissed softly. "I would rather not say just now," said Dumbledore. "However, I shall tell you in due course." "You will?" said Harry, startled. "Yes, I expect so," said Dumbledore, withdrawing a fresh bottle of silver memories from inside his robes and uncorking it with a prod of his wand. "Sir," said Harry tentatively, "I met Mundungus in Hogsmeade." "Ah, yes. I am already aware that Mundungus has been treating your inheritance with light-fingered contempt," said Dumbledore, frowning a little. "He has gone to ground since you accosted him outside the Three Broomsticks. I rather think he dreads facing me. However, rest assured that he will not be making away with any more of Sirius's old possessions." "That mangy old half-blood has been stealing black heirlooms," said Phineas Nigellus, incensed, and he stalked out of his frame, undoubtedly to visit his portrait in number 12 Grimmauld Place. "Professor," said Harry after a short pause, "did Professor McGonagall tell you what I told her after Katie got hurt, about Draco Malfoy?" "She told me of your suspicions, yes," said Dumbledore. "And do you—" "I shall take all appropriate measures to investigate anyone who might have had a hand in Katie's accident," said Dumbledore. "But what concerns me now, Harry, is our lesson." Harry felt slightly resentful at this. If their lessons were so very important, why had there been such a long gap between the first and the second? However, he said no more about Draco Malfoy, but watched as Dumbledore poured fresh memories into the pensieve and began swirling the stone basin once more between his long-fingered hands. "You will remember, I am sure, that we left the tale of Lord Voldemort's beginnings at the point where the handsome muggle Tom Riddle had abandoned his witch wife Merope and returned to his family home in Little Angleton. Merope was left alone in London, expecting the baby who would one day become Lord Voldemort." "How do you know she was in London, sir?" "Because of the evidence of one This name. Jesus Christ. Caractacus Burke," said Dumbledore, "who by an odd coincidence helped found the very shop whence came the necklace we have just been discussing." He swirled the contents of the pensieve as Harry had seen him swirl them before, much as the gold prospector sifts for gold. Up out of the swirling silvery mass rose a little old man revolving slowly in the pensieve, silver as a ghost but much more solid, with a thatch of hair that completely covered his eyes. "Yes, we acquired it in curious circumstances. It was brought in by a young witch just before Christmas. Oh, many years ago now. She said she needed the gold badly. Well, that much was obvious. Covered in rags and pretty far along. Going to have a baby, you see. She said the locket had been Slytherin's. Well, we hears that sort of story all the time. Oh, this was Merlin's, this was, his favourite teapot. But when I looked at it, it had his mark all right, and a few simple spells were enough to tell me the truth. Of course, that made it near enough priceless. She didn't seem to have any idea how much it was worth. Happy to get 10 galleons for it. Best bargain we ever made." Dumbledore gave the pensieve an extra vigorous shake, and Caractacus Burke descended back into the swirling mass of memory from whence he had come.
Picture Caractacus Burke as the guy from Pawn Stars. Hold on. I know a guy. Let me call up my buddy. He's an expert in Slytherin artifacts.
"He only gave her 10 galleons," said Harry indignantly. "Caractacus Burke was not famed for his generosity," said Dumbledore. "So we know that, near the end of her pregnancy, Merope was alone in London and in desperate need of gold, desperate enough to sell her one and only valuable possession, the locket that was one of Marvolo's treasured family heirlooms." "But she could do magic," said Harry impatiently. "She could have got food and everything for herself by magic, couldn't she?" "Ah," said Dumbledore, "perhaps she could. But it is my belief, I am guessing again, but I am sure I am right, that when her husband abandoned her, Merope stopped using magic. I do not think that she wanted to be a witch any longer. Of course, it is also possible that her unrequited love and the attendant despair sapped her of her powers. That can happen. In any case, as you are about to see, Merope refused to raise her wand even to save her own life." "She wouldn't even stay alive for her son?" Dumbledore raised his eyebrows. "Could you possibly be feeling sorry for Lord Voldemort?" "No," said Harry quickly. "But she had a choice, didn't she? Not like my mother." "Your mother had a choice too," said Dumbledore gently. "Yes, Merope Riddle chose death in spite of a son who needed her. But do not judge her too harshly, Harry. She was greatly weakened by long suffering, and she never had your mother's courage. And now, if you will stand—" Where are we going? Harry asked as Dumbledore joined him at the front of the desk. This time, said Dumbledore, we are going to enter my memory. I think you will find it both rich in detail and satisfyingly accurate. After you, Harry. Wow, Dumbledore. Okay. He's always got to flex just a little bit. Like, I think you will find my memories banging, perfect, spot on.
Right, you gotta wonder if Dumbledore really did look this good back in those days, or does he just remember looking that good back in those days?
Never know.
Hey, Dan, what's up? Melody, thanks for joining.
Hello from New Zealand. Wow. Very cool. Hi.
What?
New Zealand. That's
Oh,
cool. People from New Zealand watch us. It's awesome.
no, I know. I want to go to New Zealand someday.
Oh, you are so welcome. I am so glad you watched us and we were there for you.
We do what we can.
We try. Thank you so much for finding our channel. Harry bent over the pensive. His face broke the cool surface of the memory, and then he was falling through darkness again. Seconds later, his feet hit firm ground. He opened his eyes and found that he and Dumbledore were standing in a bustling, old-fashioned London street. There I am, said Dumbledore brightly, pointing ahead of them to a tall figure crossing the road in front of a horse-drawn milk cart. Why am I losing my voice? What is wrong with me? Like every time we stream, this happens because I was talking before without a problem.
Maybe you're just talking too much at work.
B.
Talking to your animals a little too much. Oh my god. You could honestly voice Elmo if the dude who does it now dies.
I could voice Elmo. I also feel like I could voice Stitch.
Yeah, probably. They're pretty close.
You guys want to hear my Stitch real quick? I'll do my Stitch. Got Bailey excited.
You know, we can wait till after the chapter, but think about it. What character do you think is most likely to sound like Elmo in Harry Potter?
Okay. I'll think about it.
I think I know who I would say.
Okay. This younger Albus Dumbledore's long hair and beard were auburn. Having reached their side of the street, he strode off along the pavement, drawing many curious glances due to the flamboyant cut suit of plum velvet that he was wearing. Nice suit, sir, said Harry before he could stop himself, but Dumbledore merely chuckled as they followed his younger self a short distance, finally passing through a set of iron gates into a bare courtyard that fronted a rather grim, square building surrounded by high railings. He mounted the few steps leading to the front door and knocked once. After a moment or two, the door was opened by a scruffy girl wearing an apron. Good afternoon. I have an appointment with a Mrs. Cole, who I believe is the matron here. Oh, said the bewildered-looking girl, taking in Dumbledore's eccentric appearance. Just some Mrs. Cole! She bellowed over her shoulder. Harry heard a distant voice shouting something in response. The girl turned back to Dumbledore. Come in. She's on her way. Dumbledore stepped into a hallway tiled in black and white. The whole place was shabby but spotlessly clean. Harry and the older Dumbledore followed. Before the front door had closed behind them, a skinny, harassed-looking woman came scurrying toward them. She had a sharp-featured face that appeared more anxious than unkind, and she was talking over her shoulder to another aproned helper as she walked toward Dumbledore. And take the iodine upstairs to Martha. Billy Stubbs has been picking his scabs, and Eric Wally's oozing all over his sheets. Chicken pox on top of everything else, she said to nobody in particular. and then her eyes fell upon Dumbledore, and she stopped dead in her tracks, looking as astonished as if a giraffe had just crossed her threshold.
What? You got a problem with giraffes?
Oh.
The plum velvet suit, right? Like, I would. Was Dumbledore a pimp back in those days?
Wow.
Cat Williams. Cat Williams, come on. How is that not the first thing your mind goes to?
I just thought of Dumbledore wearing purple velvet.
Maybe that's what my Halloween costume should be this year. I'm just gonna get a purple velvet suit. Grow out the beard, dye everything gray. Well, no, it doesn't have gray at this point.
Auburn here.
Yeah. And yeah, just do it up.
Could. Why not?
Get some half moon glasses.
Good afternoon, said Dumbledore, holding out his hand. Mrs. Cole simply gaped. My name is Albus Dumbledore. I sent you a letter requesting an appointment, and you very kindly invited me here today. Mrs. Cole blinked. Apparently deciding that Dumbledore was not a hallucination, she said feebly, Oh, yes. Well then. You better come into my room. Yes. She led Dumbledore into a small room that seemed part sitting room, part office. It was as shabby as the hallway, and the furniture was old and mismatched. She invited Dumbledore to sit on a rickety chair and seated herself behind a cluttered desk, eyeing him nervously. I am here, as I told you in my letter, to discuss Tom Riddle and arrangements for his future, said Dumbledore. Are you family? Said Mrs. Cole. No, I am a teacher, said Dumbledore. I have come to offer Tom a place at my school. What school's this then? It's called Hogwarts, said Dumbledore. And how come you're interested in Tom? We believe he has qualities we are looking for. You mean he's won a scholarship? How can he have done? He's never been entered for one. Well, his name has been down for our school since birth. Who registered him? His parents? There was no doubt that Mrs. Cole was an inconveniently sharp woman. Apparently Dumbledore thought so too, for Harry now saw him slip his wand out of the pocket of his velvet suit, at the same time picking up a piece of perfectly blank paper from Mrs. Cole's desktop. Here, said Dumbledore, waving his wand once as he passed her the piece of paper. I think this will make everything clear. Mrs. Cole's eyes slid out of focus and back again as she gazed intently at the blank paper for a moment. That seems perfectly in order, she said placidly, handing it back. Then her eyes fell upon a bottle of gin in 2 glasses that had certainly not been present a few seconds before. May I offer you a glass of gin? She said in an extra refined voice. Thank you so much, said Dumbledore, beaming. It soon became clear that Mrs. Cole was no novice when it came to gin drinking. Pouring them both a generous measure, she drained her glass in one gulp. Smacking her lips frankly, she smiled at Dumbledore for the first time, and he didn't hesitate to press his advantage.
Wait a second. Other than the fact that I think Dumbledore has a drinking problem, did he Imperio her?
No.
What sort of spell is he using on her?
I don't think he imperioed her. I think,
What? He Imperioed her.
sorry, my foot hurts.
He used an unforgivable, but it was for the greater good.
Think he imperioed her?
I don't know what other spell he could have done. She's just like, oh, yes, thank you. What sort of mind control magic is he using outside of Imperio?
I mean, I suppose he could have.
You know more spells than me. I mean, maybe.
I was wondering whether you could tell me anything of Tom Riddle's history. I think he was born here in the orphanage. That's right, said Mrs. Cole, helping herself to more gin. I remember it clear as anything because I just started here myself. New Year's Eve and bitter cold. Snowing, you know. Nasty night. And this girl, not much older than I was myself at the time, came staggering up the front steps. Well, she wasn't the first. We took her in and she had the baby within the hour. And she was dead in another hour. Mrs. Cole nodded impressively and took another generous gulp of gin. Did she say anything before she died? Said Dumbledore. Anything about the boy's father, for instance? Now, as it happened, she did, said Mrs. Cole, who seemed to be rather enjoying herself now, with the gin in her hand and an eager audience for her story. I remember she said to me, I hope he looks like his papa. And I won't lie, she was right to hope it, 'cause she was no beauty. And then she told me he was to be named Tom for his father, and Marvolo for her father. Yeah, I know, funny name, innit? We wondered whether he came from a circus, and she said the boy's surname was to be Riddle, and she died soon after without another word. Well, we named him just as she said it. It seemed so important to the poor girl. But no Tom nor Marvolo nor any kind of Riddle ever came looking for him, nor any family at all. So he stayed in the orphanage, and he's been here ever since. Mrs. Cole helped herself, almost absent-mindedly, to another healthy measure of gin. 2 pink spots had appeared high on her cheekbones. Then she said, He's a funny boy. Yes, said Dumbledore. I thought he might be.
Funny boy. He's a psycho. Funny boy.
Funny as in odd.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. Also, is psychic paper like a real thing in the Wizarding world? Is that like a thing?
It could be. He might have just done something to the paper.
Is it not unforgivable if you enchant something with it?
You can't imperio an object.
He just did it. I don't
You
know.
can't imperio an object.
You can put the Imperio curse onto the object that then transfers over to said
That's not
person.
how it works.
I'm just trying to figure out.
That's not how it works.
We don't know. We don't even know if it was Imperio.
Imperio, you have to do it to someone and control them. You can't do it through an object. That doesn't make any sense.
You encode what you want said person to
No,
do.
no.
Either way,
no.
yeah, despite your love of Matt Smith, you still haven't watched Doctor Who. Haven't even started it.
I did watch a good chunk of the first season of Doctor Who.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I would like Matt Smith as Doctor Who. I like Matt Smith in Targaryen armor with beautiful white blonde hair and savage, brutal tendencies.
Well, you won't know until you try.
The Doctor is going to do it for me. Not the same vibe.
No, it's not the same, but just because you like spicy wings doesn't mean you can't like garlic wings too.
He was a funny baby, too. He hardly ever cried, you know. And then, when he got a little older, he was... What? Okay, then. Speak? Did I not speak?
I mean,
Oh, they said it's working.
it's working.
I just gonna...
They can see us, but we can't see us. restart it. No data. But for some reason, it's okay. YouTube,
We're good?
you're drunk. Go home.
Okay. When he got a little older, he was odd. Odd in what way? Asked Dumbledore gently. Well, But Mrs. Cole pulled up short, and there was nothing blurry or vague about the inquisitorial glance she shot Dumbledore over a gin glass. He's definitely got a place at your school, you say? Definitely, said Dumbledore. Nothing I say can change that. Nothing, said Dumbledore. You'll be taking him away, whatever. Whatever, repeated Dumbledore gravely. She squinted at him as though deciding whether or not to trust him. Apparently she decided she could, because she said in a sudden rush, He scares the other children. You mean he is a bully? Asked Dumbledore. I think he might be, said Mrs. Cole, frowning slightly. But it's very hard to catch him at it. There have been incidents, nasty things. Dumbledore did not press her, though Harry could tell he was interested. She took yet another gulp of gin, and her rosy cheeks grew rosier still. Billy Stubbs' his rabbit. Well, Tom said he didn't do it, and I don't see how he could have done. But even so, it didn't hang itself from the rafters, did it? I shouldn't think so, no, said Dumbledore quietly. But I'm jiggered if I know how he got up there to do it. All I know is he and Billy had argued the day before, and then... Mrs. Cole took another swig of gin, slopping a little over her chin this time. On the summer outing, we take them out, you know, once a year, to the countryside or to the seaside. Well, Amy Benson and Dennis Bishop were never quite right afterwards, and all we ever got out of them was they'd gone into a cave with Tom Riddle. He swore they'd just gone exploring, but something happened in there. I'm sure of it. Well, there have been a lot of things, funny things. She looked around at Dumbledore again, and though her cheeks were flushed, her gaze was steady. I don't think many people will be sorry to see the back of him. You understand, I'm sure, that we will not be keeping him permanently, said Dumbledore. He will have to return here, at the very least, every summer. Oh, well, that's better than a whack on the nose with a rusty poker, said Mrs. Cole with a slight hiccup. She got to her feet, and Harry was impressed to see that she was quite steady, even though 2/3 of the gin was now gone. I suppose you like to see him? Very much, said Dumbledore, rising too. She led him out of her office and up the stone stairs, calling out instructions and admonitions to helpers and children as she passed. The orphans, Harry saw, were all wearing the same kind of greyish tunic. They looked reasonably well cared for, but there was no denying that this was a grim place in which to grow up. Here we are, said Mrs. Cole, as they turned off the second landing and stopped outside the front door in a long corridor. She knocked twice and entered. Tom, you've got a visitor. This is Mr. Dunderbore. He's come to tell you... Well, I'll let him do it. Harry and the two Dumbledores entered the room, and Mrs. Cole closed the door on them. It was a small bare room with nothing in it except an old wardrobe and an iron bedstead. A boy was sitting on top of the grey blankets, his legs stretched out in front of him, holding a book. There was no trace of the gaunts in Tom Riddle's face. Merope had got her dying wish. He was his handsome father in miniature, tall for even 11 years old, dark-haired and pale. His eyes narrowed slightly as he took in Dumbledore's eccentric appearance. There was a moment's silence. How do you do, Tom? Said Dumbledore, walking forward and holding out his hand. The boy hesitated, then took it, and they shook hands. Dumbledore drew up the hard wooden chair beside Riddle, so that the pair of them looked rather like a hospital patient and visitor. I am Professor Dumbledore. Professor? repeated Riddle. He looked wary. Is that like doctor? What are you here for? Did she get you in to have a look at me? He was pointing at the door through which Mrs. Cole had just left. No, no, said Dumbledore, smiling. I don't believe you, said Riddle. She wants me looked at, doesn't she? Tell the truth. He spoke the last 3 words with a ringing force that was almost shocking. It was a command, and it sounded as though he had given it many times before. His eyes had widened, and he was glaring at Dumbledore, who made no response except to continue smiling pleasantly. After a few seconds, Riddle stopped glaring, though he looked, if anything, warier still. Who are you? I have told you. My name is Professor Dumbledore, and I work at a school called Hogwarts. I have come to offer you a place at my school, your new school, if you would like to come. Riddle's reaction to this was most surprising. He leapt from the bed and backed away from Dumbledore, looking furious. You can't kid me. The asylum, that's where you're from, isn't it? Professor, yes, of course. Well, I'm not going, see? That old cat's the one who should be in the asylum. I never did anything to little Amy Benson or Dennis Bishop, and you can ask them. They'll tell you. I am not from the asylum, said Dumbledore patiently. I am a teacher, and if you sit down calmly, I shall tell you about Hogwarts. Of course, if you would rather not come to the school, nobody would force you. I'd like to see them try, sneered Riddle. Hogwarts, Dumbledore went on, as though he had not heard Riddle's last words, is a school for people with magical abilities. I'm not mad. I know you are not mad. Hogwarts is not a school for mad people. It is a school of magic. There was silence. Riddle had frozen, his face expressionless, but his eyes were flickering back and forth between each of Dumbledore's, as though trying to catch one of them lying. Magic? He repeated in a whisper. That's right, said Dumbledore. It's magic, what I can do? What is it that you can do? All sorts, breathed Riddle. A rush of excitement was rising up his neck into his hollow cheeks. He looked fevered.
You know, for someone so smart, well, supposedly so smart, what do you think it was?
Well, you don't know that there's any, such thing as magic,
No, but what do you think it was?
Well, he didn't know.
I feel like magic encompasses all that sort of stuff, especially when you're a kid.
Right, but when you're a kid, you, I can do magic, but, when someone says, hey, come to our magic school,
Psychic.
It's validation.
I can do the psychic.
It's just validation.
No, I know. It's just the way it was written. It was like, what? I wish there was some cool overlap with all the young dudes where Remus and Riddle both went to the same children's home. I think this was one of the things I had to look up when we were reading it. Because I thought they were going to do that. And it would have been kind of cool to have that overlap.
Have Remus go to Wolves?
Yeah. He stayed in the same room as Riddle. The doll head was still in the cupboard.
After having finished all the young dudes, now I'm kind of glad they didn't do it.
Yeah, same.
Don't taint Voldemort that way.
Remind me of all the 9-year-olds that bark at people and convince people they can do magic. Because that's kind of what he's like. You know what Tom really needed growing up? He needed a Dudley. Someone to slap him around a little bit. Put him in his place.
I feel like Tom Riddle would have committed his first murder at that point.
He would have still swore revenge on all muggles, but it would have been for different reasons.
I feel like it would be the opposite of what happened with Harry. and Dudley would have been his first victim.
The snake wouldn't have slithered away. Just say that.
Hmm? Yeah. Thought those kids were traumatized.
I mean, Dudley probably would have deserved it, though. To be fair, his birthday would look like Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think it'd be a lot worse.
Nah.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot worse.
Maybe.
Definitely. This is Voldemort we're talking about. He would have messed him up.
Yeah,
These
maybe.
he killed that kid's rabbit. Like he would have messed Dudley up.
Well, Dudley didn't have a rabbit.
He would have done something equally as devastating.
He
and
might have killed
horrifying.
Aunt Marge's dog. But
Oh, he would have definitely killed Ripper for sure.
Dudley demented.
He looked fevered. I can make things move without touching them. I can make animals do what I want them to do without training them. I can make bad things happen to people who annoy me. I can hurt them if I want to. His legs were trembling. He stumbled forward and sat down on the bed again, staring at his hands, his head bowed as though in prayer. I knew I was different, he whispered to his own quivering fingers. I knew I was special. There was something. Well, you were quite right, said Dumbledore, who was no longer smiling but watching Riddle intently. You are a wizard. Riddle lifted his head. His face was transfigured. There was a wild happiness upon it. Yet for some reason it did not make him better looking. On the contrary, his finely carved features seemed somehow rougher, his expression almost bestial. Are you a wizard too? Yes, I am. Prove it, said Riddle at once, in the same commanding tone which he had used when he had said, Tell the truth. Dumbledore raised his eyebrows. If, as I take it, you are accepting your place at Hogwarts... Of course I am! Then you will address me as Professor or Sir. Riddle's expression hardened for the most fleeting moment before he said, in an unrecognizably polite voice, I'm sorry, sir. I meant, please, Professor, could you show me? Harry was sure that Dumbledore was going to refuse, that he would tell Riddle there would be plenty of time for practical demonstrations at Hogwarts, that they were currently in a building full of Muggles and must therefore be cautious. To his great surprise, however, Dumbledore drew his wand from an inside pocket of his suit jacket, pointed it at the shabby wardrobe in the corner, and gave the wand a casual flick. The wardrobe burst into flames. Riddle jumped to his feet. Harry could hardly blame him for howling in shock and rage. All his worldly possessions must be in there. But even as Riddle rounded on Dumbledore, the flames vanished, leaving the wardrobe completely undamaged.
You know, not Dumbledore's greatest moment. Here you have a kid, as Katie says, shows a lot of red flags. And the first thing you're going to do is be like, hey, kid, want to learn how to burn shit down? Want to learn how to get rid of the evidence next time?
I mean, I think Dumbledore definitely sees some red flags.
I think he sees a lot. I think he's smart enough to see them. He wants to believe the good. I'm just saying that act of magic is probably the wrong choice with him.
Well, we know why, though, he does it after.
Not to scare him, right?
Well, and because he's got the objects in there.
Yeah. But still.
Katie says she doesn't think Dumbledore had a choice. He would have been a lot more dangerous in the Muggle world
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
without training.
Just random shit happening.
be in a much more dangerous to the secrecy of the wizarding world too, because he would just be doing shit.
Hundreds of people balloons just floating away.
People balloons?
Whatever you want to call Aunt Marge when
I
she
feel like he would
blows up.
not be doing that. He'd be doing evil shit.
I mean, that's pretty evil.
It was an accident. First of all, Harry didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, so what? Voldemort wouldn't know how to control it.
I think Voldemort actually has very good control over it. Way more control than
Oh, way
Harry
more than
did.
Harry, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because he knows exactly how to do all the stuff that he does.
Very deliberate with that magic. You needed
Yeah,
time to understand. Well, yeah.
absolutely. Harry was, Riddle stared from the wardrobe to Dumbledore, then. Dumbledore. Then, his expression greedy, he pointed at the wand. Where can I get one of them? All in good time, said Dumbledore. I think there is something trying to get out of your wardrobe. And fair enough, a faint rattling could be heard from inside it. For the first time, Riddle looked frightened. Open the door, said Dumbledore. Riddle hesitated, then crossed the room and threw open the wardrobe door. On the topmost shelf, above a rail of threadbare clothes, a small cardboard box was shaking and rattling as though there were several frantic mice trapped inside it. Take it out, said Dumbledore. Riddle took down the quaking box. He looked unnerved. Is there anything in that box you ought not to have? Asked Dumbledore. Riddle threw Dumbledore a long, clear, calculating look. Yes, I suppose so, he said finally, in an expressionless voice. Open it, said Dumbledore. Riddle took off the lid and tipped the contents onto his bed without looking at them. Harry, who had expected something much more exciting, saw a mess of small, everyday objects, a yo-yo, a silver thimble, and a tarnished mouth organ among them. Once free of the box, they stopped quivering and lay quite still upon the thin blankets. You will return them to their owners with your apologies, said Dumbledore calmly, putting his wand back into his jacket. I shall know whether it has been done. And be warned, thieving is not tolerated at Hogwarts. Riddle did not look remotely abashed. He was still staring coldly and appraisingly at Dumbledore. At last he said in a colourless voice, Yes, sir. At Hogwarts, Dumbledore went on, we teach you not only to use magic, but to control it. You have, inadvertently, I am sure, been using your powers in a way that is neither taught nor tolerated at our school. You are not the first, nor will you be the last, to allow your magic to run away with you. But you should know that Hogwarts can expel students, and the Ministry of Magic, yes, there is a ministry, will punish lawbreakers still more severely. All new wizards must accept that, in entering our world, they abide by our laws. Yes, sir, said Riddle again. It was impossible to tell what he was thinking. His face remained quite blank as he put the little cachet of stolen objects back into the cardboard box. When he had finished, he turned to Dumbledore and said baldly, I haven't got any money. That is easily remedied, said Dumbledore, drawing a leather money pouch from his pocket. There is a fund at Hogwarts for those who require assistance to buy books and robes. You might have to buy some of your spell books and so on second-hand, but... Where do you buy spell books? Interrupted Riddle, who had taken the heavy money bag without thanking Dumbledore and was now examining a fat gold galleon. In Diagon Alley, said Dumbledore. I have your list of books and school equipment with me. I can help you find everything. You're coming with me? Asked Riddle, looking up. Certainly, if you... I don't need you, said Riddle. I'm used to doing things for myself. I go around London on my own all the time. How do you get to this Diagon Alley, sir? He added, catching Dumbledore's eye. Harry thought that Dumbledore would insist upon accompanying Riddle, but once again he was surprised. Dumbledore handed Riddle the envelope containing his list of equipment, and after telling Riddle exactly how to get to the leaky cauldron from the orphanage, he said, "You will be able to see it, although muggles around you, non-magical people, that is, will not. Ask for Tom the barman. Easy enough to remember, as he shares your name." Riddle gave an irritable twitch, as though trying to displace an irksome fly. "You dislike the name Tom?" "There are a lot of Toms," muttered Riddle. Then, as though he could not suppress the question, as though it had burst from him in spite of himself, he asked, "Was my father a wizard? He was called Tom Riddle too, they've told me." "I'm afraid I don't know," said Riddle, his voice gentle. "My mother can't have been magic, or she wouldn't have died," said Riddle more to himself than Dumbledore. "It must have been him. So, when I've got all my stuff, when do I come to this Hogwarts?" "All the details are on the second piece of parchment in your envelope," said Dumbledore. "You will leave from King's Cross Station on the 1st of September. There is a train ticket in there too." Riddle nodded. Dumbledore got to his feet and held out his hand again. Taking it, Riddle said, "I can speak to snakes. I found out when we've been to the country on trips. They find me. They whisper to me. Is that normal for a wizard?" Harry could tell he had withheld mention of this strangest power until that moment, determined to impress. "It is unusual," said Dumbledore after a moment's hesitation, "but not unheard of." His tone was casual, but his eyes moved curiously over Riddle's face. They stood for a moment, man and boy, staring at each other. Then the handshake was broken. Dumbledore was at the door. "Goodbye, Tom. I shall see you at Hogwarts." "I think that will do," said the white-haired Dumbledore at Harry's side, and seconds later they were soaring weightlessly through darkness once more, before landing squarely in the present-day office. "Sit down," said Dumbledore, landing beside Harry. Harry obeyed, his mind still full of what he'd just seen. "He believed it much quicker than I did. I mean, when you told him he was a wizard," said Harry. "I didn't believe Hagrid at first when he told me." "Yes, Riddle was perfectly ready to believe that he was, to use his word, special," said Dumbledore. "Did you know, then?" asked Harry. "Did I know that I had just met the most dangerous dark wizard of all time?" said Dumbledore. "No, I had no idea that he was going to grow up to be what he is. However, I was certainly intrigued by him. I returned to Hogwarts intending to keep an eye upon him, something I should have done in any case, given that he was alone and friendless, but which, already, I felt I ought to do for others' sake as much as his. His powers, as you heard, were surprisingly well developed for such a young wizard, and, most interestingly and ominously of all, he had already discovered that he had some measure of control over them, and began to use them consciously. And as you saw, these were not the random experiments of typical of young wizards. He was already using magic against other people, to frighten, to punish, to control. The little stories of the strangled rabbit and the young boy and girl he lured into a cave were most suggestive. I can make them hurt if I want to." "And he was a Parselmouth," interjected Harry. "Yes, indeed. A rare ability, and one supposedly connected with the dark arts, though as we know there are Parselmouths among the great and the good too. In fact, his ability to speak to serpents did not make me nearly as uneasy as his obvious instincts for cruelty, secrecy, and domination." "Ah, time is making fools of us again," said Dumbledore, indicating the dark sky beyond the windows. "But before we part, I want to draw your attention to certain features of this scene we have just witnessed, for they have a great bearing on the matters we shall be discussing in future meetings. Firstly,
I hope you noticed Riddle's reaction when I mentioned that another shared his name, Tom."
Harry nodded.
"There he showed his contempt for anything that tied him to other people, anything that made him ordinary. Even then he wished to be different, separate, notorious. He shed his name, as you know, within a few short years of that conversation, and created the mask of Lord Voldemort, behind which he has hidden for so long. I trust you also noticed that Tom Riddle was already highly self-sufficient, secretive, and apparently friendless. He did not want help or companionship on his trip to Diagon Alley. He preferred to operate alone. The adult Voldemort is the same. You will hear many of his Death Eaters claiming that they are in his confidence, that they alone are close to him, even understand him. They are deluded. Lord Voldemort has never had a friend, nor do I believe that he has ever wanted one. And lastly, I hope you are not too sleepy to pay attention to this, Harry. The young Tom Riddle liked to collect trophies. You saw the box of stolen articles he had hidden in his room. These were taken from victims of his bullying behavior, souvenirs, if you will, of particularly unpleasant bits of magic. Bear in mind this magpie-like tendency, for this particularly will be important later. And now, it really is time for bed."
Harry got to his feet. As he walked across the room, his eyes fell upon the little table on which Marvolo Gaunt's ring had rested last time, but the ring was no longer there.
"Yes, Harry,"
said Dumbledore, for Harry had come to a halt. "The ring's gone," said Harry, looking around. "But I thought you might have the mouth organ or something." Dumbledore beamed at him, peering over the top of his half-moon spectacles.
"Very astute, Harry. But the mouth organ was only ever a mouth organ."
And on that enigmatic note, he waved to Harry, who understood himself to be dismissed.
That's right, Harry. Get out. I said good day. I'm trying to be quirky and not like other girls. Trip through Diagon Alley. That would be interesting. Like, how did his trip through Diagon Alley turn out? Probably walked in the first shop. You sell stuff that could kill people? What? No. You want Nocturne Alley for that. Bet. Which way?
I think Katie makes a good point. At least Dumbledore could keep an eye on Tom Riddle at Hogwarts. I think Dumbledore recognized all these flags and thought, A, he's got to go to Hogwarts so we can keep an eye on him. And B, maybe while at Hogwarts, we can steer him away from this shit train that he's on. Obviously, it didn't work.
No, not at all.
But Dumbledore tries to believe in the best in everyone, so he's going to give it a shot.
And one more thing. Food for thought. What do you think the snakes said to him? Just random snakes coming up. Wonder if the snakes had the Elmo voice.
"Tom, what are you doing?
Got any mice?
Hungry, Tom?"
Like, yeah, like what? They seek him out. For what? For what?
I don't know. They know he's speaking their language. They're like, finally, someone else to talk to.
Speak to. Come on. The S word's right there.
Hi, Angela. Welcome. Oh my goodness.
How you been? Last line of the chapter could be a good t-shirt. What was the last line again?
Understood himself to be dismissed.
Oh.
And on that enigmatic note, he waved to Harry, who understood himself to be dismissed.
Yeah, that could work. The mouth organ line. Oh.
Oh.
Alas, very astute, Harry. However, the mouth organ was only ever a mouth.
Really pretty clever on Harry's part. Harry, is getting it.
Yeah, do sooner or later. My God, Dumbledore's trying hard enough to beat it into him.
My
He's too
God,
obsessed with Draco.
Dumbledore.
Tom Riddle is just Draco without a father. He just
That's
can't.
very insulting to Lord Voldemort.
I mean, he is.
Not the same person. Not even.
Yeah, he is.
No.
I could picture Tom Riddle saying, "My father will hear about this," if he had a father. But he doesn't, because he's an orphan.
He's
No one loves
way
him
more cruel
because
than
he's a whack job.
He's way more cruel than Draco Malfoy.
Well, yeah, that's because he doesn't have parents.
Yeah, but Draco acts out of entitlement. He also acts out of anger and frustration. Voldemort acts out of the desire to be cruel and enjoy it.
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying.
And to control people and manipulate people. It's two different things. I also think, I don't think Draco would strangle someone's rabbit.
No, I don't think it would. But two different circumstances is what I'm saying.
Oh, well. Yep, I think Voldemort here is being painted as a budding actual psychopath, like born psychopath. Draco's not.
You think if he did have a dad and a mom, do you think it would have been different? Or you think he was just born messed up? It was going to happen sooner or later.
Well, that gets into the whole
Nature versus nurture.
Yeah. I would actually love the mouth organ was only ever a mouth organ. And yes, it would be a very hardcore Harry Potter fan shirt. Well, Melody, that is what we're going to talk about when we do our Voldemort discussion. We are going to talk about where does Voldemort's evil come from? Is he born evil? Was he nurtured to be evil? Was it both? So that's going to be our whole conversation. And what is the nature of Voldemort's evil, etc., etc.
Fair enough. I shouldn't be getting into this too much right now.
And we'll talk about the whole love potion thing and his parentage and all that. That's all the Voldemort conversation. This is just the chapter conversation.
The appetizer. What's
Also,
your whistle for Voldemort?
Yeah, wet your whistle for some Voldy time. Oh, Trump has been indicted. Tom is very excited about it.
Oh, I did not know that, but all right.
Yes, I actually saw it on the news before I came back over here. They voted to indict him today.
Nice.
Ha-cha-cha, 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 ha-cha-cha.
I stopped watching the news like a month or two ago. Just too depressing. Couldn't take it anymore.
Well, and I feel like the whole is Trump going to get indicted thing, I'm just waiting until yes or no they make a decision. The whole back and forth discussion on will they, won't they, will they, won't. I don't talk about it. Just report when they do or they don't. And then I'm good. I don't need a month's worth of speculation in between.
What are they supposed to do in between, though?
Talk about climate change. I don't know. Talk about other things that are happening in the world.
I will sit here and stare at the camera until we hear the verdict.
Yeah. Angela's like, I've been deep in Middle Earth, completely ignoring reality. I like that. That's a good place to be. Middle Earth is a fantastic place to go.
Exactly. We actually have someone here from Middle Earth, Melody, from New Zealand.
Ah, yes, Melody. Yes, that's true.
She gets to live there all year round.
Lucky. She can be a hobbit all the time if she wants. Or an elf. Whatever Melody prefers.
I mean, I would want to be a hobbit. I can never be a hobbit though. I'm like 2 hobbits tall.
Yeah, you can't be a hobbit. You'd have to be um
I'd have to crawl through my house.
you'd have to be a Numenorian, I think.
Don't say that.
Why is that a bad thing?
Because Rings of Power. Need I say more?
Those weren't real Numenorians. It's
Okay, fair enough.
okay. They weren't real. It's all just a bad dream.
Till it becomes a reality. Oh, I know for sure. If I ever become a billionaire, like, you'll never see me again. Building a hole in the ground, nice little hobbit mansion. That's it.
Do you know what I would do if I
I'm
became
gonna
a
live my
billionaire?
life like a hobbit.
Do you know what I would do with all that money?
Buy all the kangaroos.
Buy all the kangaroos. All them roos. You know I'm all about them roos. About them roos. About them roos. I'm all
Gonna
about them roos. About
just
them
gonna
roos. About them roos.
buy a small country, move all your roos there, and call it New Australia.
Yes.
Build a Hogwarts. Oh, that would be great.
Every inch of them is perfect from the bottom to the top.
You know, I don't know if it's a thing, but
I'm trying to think of more lyrics
at
to the
one
song
point, I think it was Scotland. It
right
might
now.
have been like Romania, or some place where there's a lot of castles. They were basically selling these castles for like dirt cheap,
Scotland, I think you told me was
and
Scotland.
you would receive money each year
to
for
renovate them.
living in it and renovating it.
The Aussies lost a war to the emus, not the roos. Although I bet if they tried to fight the roos, they would lose there as well. Welcome to Kangaroo Park. Spared no expense.
Let's hope it doesn't end the same way.
Spared no expense. Ah, Kangaroo Park. My roos would have the best life ever.
Oh, there's an edit I should do. Change all the dinosaurs to kangaroos in Jurassic Park. See how that plays out. You can get Italian cities. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we've
I know
talked about
Italy
the
was
Italy
selling
thing.
like certain homes for like $1 or something like that. But they did it with castles as well. And there, I remember just reading an article about some lady who basically just lived in this castle, and she had this whole bee farm in the castle, and then she sold honey. She had like the castle on the logo. It was like Castle Bees or Bees Castle.
Can't like sell. That's the thing. If I had all these roos, I can't sell anything from the roos.
You can sell Rue Time.
I could sell roo time. That's true.
How easy the kangaroos have it in the birthing process.
They do, but then they got to carry it around in a pouch for like months.
How long was Ramona being carried around? How long before she walked? Months.
That's true. Yeah, roos do have it better, but they're constantly pregnant and constantly they have babies. Like it doesn't stop.
I'm pretty sure you can give them contraceptives so it doesn't happen.
I meant wild roos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wild roos.
Yeah, it's a little tiny jelly bean, pretty much. It's like a little jelly bean. Boop. Go to the middle of Australia for kangaroos.
Build the best go-kart track conceived. Heck yes. That'd be awesome. Make an adult Disneyland.
I don't know. Kangaroo
Purely-
Park. Come on. What do you guys think? Park.
Kangaroos can be there too. Just add booze and go-karts.
No, because then they're gonna try to box the kangaroos. They're gonna. Someone
And they will lose, and they will learn their lesson.
They all got to sign a waiver.
What's that?
If you fuck with the kangaroos, it's not my problem.
Fuck with the kangaroos to the dungeon.
If you try to fight the kangaroos while intoxicated and they kick your ass, it's not my problem. I'm just saying.
Hey, you could make national news, you know? First ever person died from kangaroo attack in Scotland today.
What a wild headline that would be. Man
But
leaves go-kart, tries to fight kangaroo, dies at castle in Scotland.
I'm really shocked that, because I mean, Rowling was a billionaire. How did she not build Hogwarts in Scotland?
She bought a castle. She didn't need to.
I know, but how did she not turn it into some like big amusement park school thing?
Think that's her thing?
It's literally her thing. It's what made her.
Yeah, but I think she wanted to just live her life and raise her children, I'm pretty sure.
I think they would love a castle amusement park. I don't know any child who doesn't.
Yes, we have seen Kangaroo Jack.
Yes.
We were talking about this chapter. Now we're just talking about kangaroo. Kangaroo is less bad than tiger or bear. I mean, I want big kitties too.
I don't even know what to call the castle anymore.
There could also be big kitties. Tigers, snow leopards.
Just out of curiosity, hold on. Let's go on Realtor. Just look up castles.
Do we have to?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna do it. That's
Okay. Go ahead.
you continue to talk about whatever you want. I need to know.
I should draw Voldemort with kangaroo feet. I think I should do that. I haven't done that yet, but I think I should.
All castles. There's literally a castle list. Like it's just a website filled with castles for sale. I did not know it was like that big of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Dublin, Ireland, only 2.9 million.
I bet it's really cold in there. I'm just saying. Bet it's cold in there.
Like if we really save up, we can afford that by the time we're like 200.
I mean,
It's possible. All right, science is making incredible breakthroughs. We might be able to live that long.
I don't want to live that long. I don't want to live to be 200. That sounds terrible. Sounds horrible.
Oh, this one actually 600,000 euros in Spain.
No, the Roos would like Spain. They'd be comfortable there. I can't see the chat. People talking. Can't see the.
Oh, I thought it was up over here.
No. There we go.
There are a whole bunch of rodents called kangaroos. Kangaroo in Australia. Kangaroo mice. Yeah.
Kangaroo mice, but they're not kangaroos. Right? Dan is all about them big kitties. Yeah, snow leopards.
Oh, there's one in Oklahoma.
I'm not going to Oklahoma.
I will for a castle.
I am not going. They don't think women should have rights in Oklahoma. I'm not going there.
You'll be fine.
Says the man.
If anyone asks, just tell them I told you to do it. You'll be fine.
I don't want to be considered property.
Why was that so funny?
It was. Well, see, here's the thing, Kayla. I see kangaroos every day now. Well, I see kangaroos 5 days a week now, and every time I see them, I still get very excited. So, I I
Oh
don't
wait, hold on. Did the stream die again? What is wrong with the internet today?
I mean, I want to go to Australia anyway, though, because I want to see more stuff in Australia other than the kangaroos. I mean, I want to see them, but there's other stuff I want to see. No, we didn't. Is the stream not working?
No, it's back up.
No, we didn't end it. We just
it
had
just
an
came back
issue.
up. Might have to refresh.
Um,
So yeah, you might want to say again what you were saying.
I want to see salties. I just want to see the landscape. Just the things. Ugh. Salties and kangaroos, though, they're like on the top of the list. You just want to look at castles.
5 million, Queensland, Australia. There you go. Now what?
Okay, that one's worth it.
Yeah.
5 million. You know, honestly, the Opera House, I don't really care about the Opera House. I'm not gonna lie. You want to see the Opera House?
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things
I
you
mean,
see.
I'd go see it, but I'm like, I'll see it so I could say I saw it, but it's not like I need to gotta see it. So excited.
Everything's always different when you see it in person
Yeah,
compared
that's
to your
true.
pictures.
But I'd rather scuba dive off the coast.
I mean, fair.
What is that? Are those verbs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And an island bench.
Oh, in the
Oh, that's
kitchen.
in the kitchen.
It's in the
I thought
kitchen.
it meant like it had its own island at first.
Oh.
Never mind. I was just
Is that
skimming
the
through
only
it.
picture?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no. Wait. Oh.
Oh, just push the thing there. Oh, it's very modern inside. Ooh, there's a swimming pool in there. Multiple bathrooms. Oh my.
Look at this. I don't want a castle.
I didn't want a castle in Oklahoma. What?
All right,
What's so wrong with that?
This is one of those rabbit holes that I'm gonna go down, and I'm just gonna be here looking at castles the rest of the night. I'm just closing out of it now. I'm over it.
We're not even talking about Harry Potter anymore.
It's like looking at sports cars, just window shopping. Look at this.
I want to see if Finding Nemo was wrong about Sydney as Finding Dory was wrong about. That's a good endeavor. That's worthwhile. You can pet kangaroos at the Australia Zoo.
I mean, we gotta stop there.
I mean, I gotta go. Yeah, gotta stop there anyway. Gotta go to Australia Zoo. Period. Us.
Is that your new thing? Just wherever we go, you're gonna want to go to every zoo.
Probably.
Compare it to yours.
Yeah.
Knew it.
Does the Australia Zoo have oryxes?
Well, look at me. I don't know.
That's an important. Um.
Let me move the chat back here so I can see too.
That's an important question. Do they have oryxes at the Australia Zoo? I know they have lions and all that stuff.
Seeing all zoos would be awesome. Oh, I 100% agree. I just want to go to the San Diego Zoo.
I have a coworker who's got like a list, and he's like checking them all off and going to all of them.
I just want to go to San Diego because I've been to the Bronx Zoo, and the only zoo that's basically considered bigger than that really is the San Diego Zoo in the U.S. I don't know what's considered like the best zoo in the world, but
The Henry Dooley Zoo in Nebraska, I think, is considered like the best zoo in the world.
I've never heard of that zoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then San Diego is always like number 2 or number 3.
Gotcha.
I would love to go to San Diego. Very much so. They have platypus there. An oryx is a type of antelope. There are a few species, and they are the bestest.
It's a deer cow.
It's not a deer cow.
It looks like a deer cow.
It looks like an oryx.
Cow deer.
They cute. It's ORYX, oryx. You Google it. They so cute.
2005.
Did we stop again?
Oh my god.
No. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
No, the zoo does not have that. Well, they should get some. Just saying.
All right.
Okay.
We might have to wrap this up because this is annoying me, so I know it's annoying everyone else.
Yeah, we're just not, we can't seem to maintain a stable connection, and we got way off topic anyway. We barely talked about this chapter. We just read it and then
we started to,
stuff.
and then I think at least I realized like, oh, we can't really talk about it because we're going to do our Voldemort discussion this weekend.
That's fair. Yeah, it's hard to talk about it without getting into all that other stuff.
Because this falls into like the big topic, nature versus nurture, the psychopathic tendencies, sociopath versus psychopath.
Yeah, fair enough.
Was he Draco Malfoy if Draco didn't have a dad?
Anyway, we don't need to get back into it. Kayla, I highly encourage you to Google oryxes. They so cute.
Yeah, this weekend we're figuring out a time because
we
if we do it Saturday, we're gonna have to do it late because today we found out that she has to work this weekend.
Yeah, it was spur of the moment. I wasn't supposed to work this weekend, and then I ended up having to. So, yeah.
So I guess it'll either be late Saturday or we'll just switch it to Sunday. Either way, we'll do it. We'll talk about it. Voldemort and all his shenanigans.
Oh, sorry, Tom. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Harry
Tom.
Potter high tea? That sounds cool. I want to go to Harry Potter high tea.
What is that?
Like fancy tea.
Oh.
I think it's like fancy tea, and I'm assuming you're going to talk about Harry Potter and do Harry Potter stuff or have Harry Potter snacks or something.
Well, now I feel uncultured. I didn't know what that was. I mean, that sounds like a pretty fun time, Dan. Wait, yours and your nephew's birthday? Were you born on April Fool's? I would be the worst fucking doctor if there was a child born on April Fool's.
Oh, and you dress up like you're at the castle. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
That sounds like so much fun. I want to go.
Is that just like something you and your friends are doing, or is it like a thing? Okay. Fair enough. I was gonna say if you were both born on the first, oh man, your birthdays must suck. Just trying to enjoy your birthday and everyone's just like, no, April Fools, April Fools. You think those
It's a thing, apparently.
you think
That
those
sounds
joke
fun.
candles are bad.
They probably have stuff like that. It just, we live so far in the middle of nowhere that no one does stuff like that. To go do fun Harry Potter stuff very often. Hello, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie. Oh, that's right, Dan. I think we talked about this last year because your birthday is only 2 days before mine.
Talk about this.
Probably. Let's hear it for the May babies. Spoken like a true November.
November is the best time to have a birthday.
That's too much like what Harry did with Cho.
Ah.
We don't. I mean, I agree with you, but I would try to not think about that. Although, if you were going to have an awkward date anywhere, that would just be great. At least it'd be entertaining for everyone.
My birthday is
And very
November.
ironic.
My birthday is November 25th.
Wait, it is?
Ha ha ha. Um,
Oh, no, Dan. I mean, in that case, just make sure that you sleep on the blow up mattress. At least that way, you never have to worry about getting wet. The water rises, you just go with it.
yes, I am a Thanksgiving birthday person. That is it. Sometimes my birthday is right on Thanksgiving, and it's very frustrating.
Thanksgiving, then pie and cake.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All about the snuggles right now. I have an RV. Fair enough. You got me there.
Oh, ow. Sorry, my feet hurt. Um, what are you googling?
Well, I was gonna bring up the Wizarding World. If you want, I was thinking, why don't we end on the test?
Yeah, we can do the last quiz. If
You wanna type it in? I got
yeah,
her.
yeah, we'll do the last quiz, and then we'll sign off for now. Just waiting so you all can see it. There we go. Can't see the chat though.
I'm one step at a time.
Okay.
I have a cat climbing on me. All right.
Oh yeah, she's like up there, up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Oh,
Try to get. How's your Slytherins doing? You're losing still.
look at Gryffindor.
Hey.
She hasn't even
Hey.
broken a million. Oh man.
Look, we're not here. This is about Slytherin right now.
In the books, in which of Harry's Hogwarts years did Gryffindor finally win the Quidditch Cup?
Ron is our king.
Nope. Third.
Was it the third? Oh,
Wow. See, I trusted you. Look what I get. At the end of the
that
House
you
Cup,
should have known.
Albus Dumbledore boosted Gryffindor, but who came last in the House Cup? Hufflepuff. Which Hogwarts student brought glory to Hufflepuff by being... Oh my god. I can even have finished reading the question. During Harry's third year Quidditch match against Ravenclaw, he meets Captain Cho Chang. What is unique about Cho's position? The Firebolt. She was injured. She was the youngest. She was the only girl on the team.
Okay, I had no idea.
Professor Slughorn was a Slytherin who liked to party. What was the name of his group of esteemed witches and wizards?
Slug Club. Oh man, could you imagine what the parties must have been like when he was in school?
Slughorn was actually in school
Yeah.
a million years ago.
All right, slow down, slow down.
Sorry.
Hufflepuff News Commander was.
Noted Hufflepuff Newt Scamander was a hugely celebrated wizard in his field. Which of the following wizarding laws did he help create?
The breeding.
Gotta be. Before Harry started Hogwarts, how many years had Slytherin won the coveted House Cup?
Oh, what is it? I'm just gonna say 5. I don't know.
6. Yeah.
Okay.
In the books, which Ravenclaw student gave up the whereabouts? Oh, Marietta Edgecombe. That snitch. Snitch.
9 out of 10.
Because I trusted you. All right, there it is.
You're kind of catching. I feel like you're closer to Ravenclaw than you were last time.
I mean, it's...
You're only 100,000 down.
We could make it. No way Gryffindor's gonna stand a chance. Not even close.
We got to pull together Gryffindors. I haven't even answered my quizzes. So my quizzes are going to go in there. Going to get like at least 5 more points.
No. Who was last place this year? Gryffindor.
You stop that.
Look at you guys.
What else is down there? Is that all the quizzes?
That's all of it, yeah.
Next year we'll get you.
For Kayla's sake, I'm gonna show her what an Oryx is. So you can all see what I'm talking about. About how awesome they are. Look at that. Look at that.
Just feel bad for anyone
Wow.
who's just joining. Oh, the Riddle chapter. Let's see what's going on.
Look at him.
Look at the RX. Look at him.
Ain't they cute? Look at that.
Look at the cow deer.
Look at it. Look at how cute that is.
That's cute.
This is education. We're striving to educate about the fauna of the world. Come on.
What? That is what?
What? Oh, good night, Katie. Sorry we missed you. Kayla, you're good. We're about to end the stream anyway, so you're fine. Had to show you an Oryx before we left.
Start a second channel called Zoobabuli.
If I started a second channel about animals, would you guys watch it? I'm just asking.
Yes, no, or meh.
Yes, no, or meh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh my. Now there's pressure. Now there's pressure. Oh dear. Oh dear cow.
Now there's standards to
I
live up
can't
to.
I can't just pull something up and go, look, an Oryx. Look at it. Isn't it cute? I gotta actually make a
I
video.
feel like that's how half of your videos would be. Just leave out the editing. Just be like, and here's an oh my god, look at that baby. Cute. Anyways, the Oryx, they have these horns. Look at the horns, oh my god.
Dan is like, I've been Where has it been? I've been waiting for it. Pressure now. Okay. I gotta get cracking. Yes.
Get the Boomafoo. Zubabuli.
I think we're
This
gonna
is fun
call
to
it Zubabuli. We can't.
Why not? That's fun to say.
Drinker of Zoo.
Yeah. Drinker of zoos. Drinker of zoology.
So I
Zoology babuli.
I won't make.
Zubabulology.
I would need permission from the zoo to make videos to put out there. So that's like a slippery slope if I were to like film stuff at the zoo. I don't know if I could do that. But I could definitely do videos about the animals that we have, the species. Here's this guy right here. There's a picture. There it is. There's a picture. I have lots and lots and lots of pictures. I just can't. I don't know how cool it is to um
Hey, Vane, how's it going?
put them out there. But if you guys would watch me do animal stuff, I could do animal stuff.
You've been talking about it for a while. I
I
thought you were
know.
going to do it a while ago.
I know. I should just do it.
Exactly. First two videos, oryx, kangaroos. There you go. Done and
There's
dusted.
different kinds of oryxes.
Scimitar oryx.
Scimitar oryx.
Yeah. What you said. Those oryx.
That sounded dirty. Scimitar oryx. And Gemsbach and Arabian oryxes. And fringe-eared oryxes. Which may or may not be a subspecies. It's up for debate.
See, there you go. First video done right there. Just listing off orcs.
The end. There are oryx in the world, but there are different, but same, but still different.
You know what you do? You remember the Animaniacs when they listed off all the countries in the world?
Yeah.
You just gotta do that with all the oryxes.
There's only like 5.
Oh.
There's only like 5.
I thought like you were just getting started with
no,
the 5.
there's
there was,
only like
a lot.
5 oryxes. I could do it with like all the antelopes.
Okay, there you go.
There's giant eland, common eland, bongos, sable antelopes, Arabian oryxes, gemsbok, springbok.
You gotta do it faster and catchier. Though.
I'm trying to think of them all. There's like 50, 60 species or something like that.
I know, I was
It's
just
crazy.
Oh, animal stuff.
Oh, animal stuff sounded dirty. Oh. I
Start doing animal stuff on YouTube.
Well, my mind didn't go there, but okay.
Maybe that should be the channel name, just animal stuff.
Animal stuff. It could be.
Welcome to Animal Stuff, where we talk about stuff
About
related
animals.
to animals. Oh, shut up. You know what you're getting, people. Anyways, orcs. This is why they're awesome.
In today's episode, we will be talking about gharials.
Yeah, like the ones at the Honolulu Zoo that multiply.
There's something going on with physics that's not okay with those gharials. Do you think that when you don't look at the gharials, there's a million of them all over the place, and then when you turn around and look at them, they're all in a straight line? in a row.
Schrodinger's animal.
Schrodinger's Gariel.
Maybe PG-13. Might be one F-bomb.
It depends, probably, on the video.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, how much cursing could you do in an animal video? Really?
Probably a lot, depending on what I'm talking about.
What?
When it comes to the conservation part, I might get a little heated.
Where?
Depending on what we're talking about. Oh god, the stream. This terrible, sad stream that we have had tonight.
Terrible, sad internet.
This is awful.
Anyways, well, we were gonna end it anyways.
Yeah,
so.
we were pretty much done just because we don't want to keep fighting with this. But thank you everyone for popping in and listening to another reading and having a wildly bizarre conversation after that had nothing to do with the chapter at all.
But it's been fun.
It has been fun.
You all have a good night, and we will see you next time on
Yes.
Animal Stuff.
It's animal stuff. Sure.